Thank you, Rushad, for having me present on this podium. So to begin with, I'm going to be talking about Xenia lenticules. They are porcine collagen implants which are manufactured from porcine stroma. And yes. Yeah. So okay, so I'm going to be presenting on our results with Xenia, further results than what I presented earlier. So they are essentially porcine collagen implants which are derived from the anterior porcine stroma. And the important thing about these implants are that they are free of cells and their remnants. So essentially the chances of rejection are reduced. The dimensions at the moment are 100 to 150 microns thick with around 7 to 8 millimeters diameter, which can be inserted into a femtosecond assisted pocket. And these lenticules are cross-linked with ultraviolet. In fact, they say it's hyper-cross-linked because they cross-link it multiple times to improve the corneal biomechanical stiffness. So these are the 4 steps that it normally undergoes. First, the porcine collagen corneal collagen lenticule is actually derived, then it undergoes a decellularization process so that it is purified of all the antigenic remnants, and then it undergoes collagen cross-linking. In keratoconus cases which are not suitable for cross-linking or are a little advanced, a femtosecond laser-assisted stromal pocket can be created, and then the lenticule is inserted and then unfolded and centered as per desired. This is an example of one of the patients where the implant can be seen in the anterior stroma. This was done using a femtosecond assister pocket at around 140 microns depth. And these are the slit lamp images in a patient who had a successful implant and did not have any melt. Corneal topography showed that because of the increase in the corneal stiffness and insertion of this stiff lenticule, the anterior corneal curvature did show a significant flattening and change. And these were the results where we started with 9 eyes. We ended up with following up 7 of these eyes for at least a year. And we saw that there was an improvement in the uncorrected and best corrected visual acuity and the keratometric parameters as well. There was an increase in corneal thickness, and the anterior corneal astigmatism significantly differed. But what happened to these two cases which we were not able to follow up is the question that we are seeing here. We were able to publish this recently. These 2 patients underwent explantation for Xenia lenticule at around 3 to 4 months because of a melt, which you are seeing here in the photograph. One of the patients had this kind of a melt, and the other one had a similar one, which was more towards the periphery of the lenticule, and it was anterior to the lenticule, so we explanted the implants because of that. The histopathology showed that the implant was still acellular and there was no keratocyte immigration or any corneal nerve fiber plexus growing into the lenticule at around 3 to 4 months. A similar experience was presented by this group, where they published a case report on early sterile keratolysis. And the hypothesis given was that this could be an immune response to the implant itself, or it could be because of the toxic compounds which are used in decellularization process. On having a discussion with the team that is preparing the Xenia implant, one of the things that came about by the biomedical team was that it could be because of the mechanical stress which is exerted by the implant because of the different biomechanical parameters of the keratoconic cornea and the lenticule. So we decided to go ahead with deeper pockets so that it is in the middle of the cornea, and the stroma above the lenticule and below the lenticule kind of equalizes in terms of the biomechanical stresses. However, we still had implant in 2 of these cases, which had to, because it was deeper, we had to explant them, and patients underwent Dahlke surgery for these implants. So in this particular paper, we proposed a hypothesis that because the stromal melts were still anterior to the lenticule and we were not seeing much of a reaction posterior to the lenticule, it could be because of the nutrition of the cornea being affected, considering that the lenticule is hypercross-linked, very stiff. It is not allowing any cellular migration into the lenticule even when we are looking at the histopathology. So that is one of the hypotheses that we came about. So just to summarize, these are implants which are successful in improving the visual outcomes because of the change in the astigmatism and improvement in corneal curvature, and they are also helping with volume replacement, could be used as a novel alternative to human corneal tissue in cases with advanced keratoconus, but this technique still needs to be refined further to make the implant more biocompatible and to prevent these adverse events that we were seeing. Thank you.